Europe's finest cars for your roaring 20s, right you lot? Listen up, because today we're talking about cars. Not just any cars, mind you. We're talking about the best European metal you can get your mitts on in your 20s. Now, I know what you're thinking. Clarkson, you old sod, what do you know about being 20-something anymore? Well, let me tell you, I remember it like it was yesterday. A time for adventure, for freedom, for questionable decisions involving questionable facial hair. And what better way to navigate those glorious hormone-fueled years than with a proper motor? Whether you're a speed freak with a need for G-force, a style guru wanting to turn heads, or just a lad or lass looking for a good time on four wheels, we've got a European masterpiece with your name on it. First up, we've got the BMW 3 Series. Now, some might call it a bit predictable, a bit safe, and yeah, your dad probably had one. But there's a reason this thing is a legend. It's the automotive equivalent of a Swiss Army knife. Want to carve up some corners on a mountain pass? The 3 Series can handle it. Need to impress the boss at a client meeting? It'll do that too without looking like you've just robbed a bank. It's comfortable enough for a long haul, quick enough to put a smile on your face, and well built enough to last longer than your last questionable relationship. Plus, it comes in more flavors than a packet of jelly babies, so you can find one that suits your personality, whether you're a sensible saloon type or a racy coupe devil. Look, the 3 Series is a classic for a reason. It's the kind of car that makes you feel like you've got your act together, even if your life is more chaotic than a hamster on a sugar rush. So if you're after a car that can do it all without breaking the bank too much, the BMW 3 Series is a bloody good place to start. Next, we're off to Ingolstadt, home of Audi and their ever-so-stylish A3. This, my friends, is the car for those who like their tech cutting edge and their design sharper than a samurai sword. Step inside and you'll find an interior that wouldn't look out of place on a spaceship with more screens than your average multiplex. You've got your virtual cockpit, your infotainment system, and enough driver aids to make you feel like you're practically driving by telepathy. But don't think for a minute that the A3 is all show and no go. Underneath all that sleek sheet metal beats the heart of a proper driver's car. It's nimble, it's responsive, and with the right engine it can shift its little backside faster than you can say Vorsprung durch. Technic. Whether you're navigating the urban jungle or stretching its legs on the open road, the A3 delivers a refined, engaging drive that's sure to impress. So, if you're after a car that's as clever as it is stylish, the Audi A3 might just be the one for you. Now, let's talk about a proper legend, the Volkswagen Golf GTI. This, my friends, is the car that started it all. The granddaddy of hot hatches, the original pocket rocket. For decades, the GTI has been the go-to choice for those who want practicality and performance in one stylish package. It's a car you can thrash on a Sunday morning blast, then use to pick up your gran from bingo on a Sunday afternoon. Don't let its sensible looks fool you, though. This little Golf packs a punch. It's got a turbocharged engine that'll have you grinning like a loon, sharp handling that'll make you feel like you're on rails, and a playful character that's just begging to be let loose. Plus, it's a Golf, which means it's built like a tank and about as reliable as the sunrise. You can find them everywhere, and they won't cost you an arm and a leg to run. So if you're after a car that's fun, practical, and won't let you down, the Volkswagen Golf GTI is a no-brainer. Right, if you're after a car that's more about character than outright speed, then you need to get acquainted with the Mini Cooper S. This little scamp is all about fun. It's like driving a go-kart, but one that's actually road legal and won't get you arrested for public indecency. The steering is sharp as a tack, the handling is playful and chuckable, and the turbocharged engine provides a surprising turn of speed. But it's not just about the driving experience. The Mini Cooper S is also a style icon with its retro-inspired looks and endless customization options. You can personalize this thing more than you can your dating app profile. Sure, it's not the most practical car in the world and you might feel every bump in the road, but who cares when you're having this much fun? So, if you're after a car that's bursting with personality and puts a smile on your face every time you get behind the wheel, the Mini Cooper S is the one for you. Now, for those of you who like a bit of luxury with your driving thrills, we present the Mercedes-Benz A-Class. This is the entry-level Merc, but don't let that fool you. It's still got more class than a finishing school for duchesses. The interior is a masterpiece of modern design, with high-quality materials, ambient lighting that'll make you feel like you're in a nightclub, and that massive touchscreen that stretches across the entire dashboard. But it's not all about looking good. The A-Class is also a proper driver's car. It's available with a range of punchy engines, from efficient diesels to fire-breathing petrols, and the handling is surprisingly agile for a car of its size. Plus, you get the prestige of the three-pointed star on the bonnet, which always impresses the neighbours, even if they pretend not to care. So if you're after a car that offers a taste of the high life without the astronomical price tag, the Mercedes-Benz A-Class is definitely worth a look. Now let's talk about something a bit different. Something with a bit of passion, a bit of soul, something Italian. That's right, it's time for the Alfa Romeo Giulia. This, my friends, is a car that's designed to be driven, not just used to get from A to B. It's got a heart of gold and a backside that would make Michelangelo weep. The Giulia is all about emotion. From the moment you lay eyes on its gorgeous curves to the first time you hear its engine sing, you'll be smitten. And once you get behind the wheel, oh boy, you'll be hooked. The steering is telepathic, the handling is precise and playful, and the engines, especially the glorious V6 and the Quadrifoglio, are an absolute riot. It's a car that makes you feel alive, that makes you want to find the nearest mountain pass and just drive. Sure, it might not be the most practical car in the world, and reliability might be a bit of a lottery, but who cares when you're having this much fun? So if you're after a car that's more than just a machine, a car that stirs the soul and quickens the pulse, the Alfa Romeo Giulia is the one for you. Right, let's be honest, not all of us have bottomless pits of money for our cars, especially in our 20s, but that doesn't mean you have to settle for something boring and beige. Enter the Renault Clio RS, a car that proves you can have a lot of fun without spending a fortune. This little hot hatch is a bit of a giant killer with a potent turbocharged engine and handling that's sharper than a chef's knife. It's the kind of car that's happiest when you're throwing it around a twisty back road. It's playful chassis and responsive steering egging you on, but it's also perfectly happy pottering around town thanks to its compact size and comfortable ride. Plus, it's a Renault, which means it's surprisingly practical and won't bankrupt you with running costs. You can even find one with a decent amount of kit for a reasonable price. So if you're after a car that's light on its feet and heavy on fun, but won't break the bank, the Renault Clio RS is a cracking little option. Next up, we have another contender in the hot hatch arena, the Peugeot 208 GTI. This little French fancy is all about style and substance, with a dash of Gallic flair thrown in for good measure. It's got a sleek and sporty design that's sure to turn heads, especially in the right colour. And the interior is surprisingly upmarket for a car in this class. But don't let the good looks fool you. The 208 GTI is no slouch. It's powered by a punchy little engine that loves to be revved, and the handling is sharp and agile, making it a blast to drive on a twisty road. It's also surprisingly practical, with a decent amount of space for passengers and luggage, making it a good all-rounder for those who need a bit of both worlds. So if you're after a stylish and fun hot hatch that won't break the bank, the Peugeot 208 GTI is definitely worth a look. Now, for those of you who like their cars with a bit of retro charm, may I present the Fiat 500 Abarth. This little Italian stallion is a pocket rocket with a whole lot of personality. It's like a Fiat 500 that's been hitting the gym and mainlining espresso. It's got a cheeky little grin, a raughty exhaust note that'll wake the dead, and a surprising turn of speed. The Abarth might be small, but it's mighty. It's powered by a turbocharged engine that packs a serious punch for its size, and the handling is Go-Kart-like, making it a hoot to throw around corners. Sure, it's not the most practical car in the world, and you might need to be a contortionist to get in the back seats, but who cares when you're having this much fun? So, if you're after a car that's full of character, fun to drive, and easy on the eye, the Fiat 500 Abarth is a cracking little option. And last but not least, we have the Saint Leon, the often overlooked hero of the hatchback world. This Spanish stallion might not have the brand cachet of some of its rivals, but don't let that fool you. It's a cracking car. The Leon is all about offering a lot for your money. It's stylish, it's practical, it's well equipped, and it's surprisingly fun to drive. It's available with a range of engines to suit all tastes, from frugal diesels to punchy petrols, and the handling is sharp and responsive, making it a hoot on a twisty road. Plus, it's a seat, which means it's based on tried and tested Volkswagen Group underpinnings, so you know it's going to be reliable and well built. So if you're after a car that ticks all the boxes without breaking the bank, the Seat Leon is a cracking all-rounder that deserves your attention. There you have it, the top 10 European cars to drive in your 20s. A right royal rumble of horsepower, style and practicality to make your mates green with envy. From the autobahn-munching BMW to the mischievous Mini, there's something in there for everyone. Which one is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. And be honest, none of that, they're all great rubbish. It's a competition, people. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more awesome content. And remember, always drive responsibly, or at least have a good lawyer on speed dial.